We all know how Barou is when it comes to his teammates. Put him on a team built around him like Uber's and he becomes one of the most dangerous and consistent forwards in the entire U20 scene. But the second you drop him into a team not built for him, he might still play well, but he'll destroy the team's chemistry in about 5 minutes. And that's just how Barou operates. And that's the real issue with him. You can't just toss Barou into a U20 Japan squad and expect everything to work. If the system isn't centered around him, he becomes a very risky pick that not even Ego knows the outcome of. So in this video, we're taking on the challenge, what does the U20 Japan team look like if we fully build it around Barou? No restrictions, no limitations of the Uber's player roster, just the strongest possible lineup designed to let Barou play at his peak. Before we start putting together this lineup, we gotta talk about what a team built around Barou actually needs to do. To keep it simple, Barou plays like an advanced forward, but he's still pretty versatile. He can score like a target man and finish like a poacher. He's the type of striker who can score those scrappy physical goals inside the box, but can still score long-range screamers from outside the box on top of that. Offensively, his only real weakness is his chance creation. Barou's not a playmaker. He's not someone you want dropping deep or trying to set up teammates. So the team around him needs to do two things. Number one, fully take advantage of his scoring ability in the final third. And the second thing is to limit how much he's involved in early and mid phases of build-up. Basically, we want Barou receiving the ball in dangerous positions, not running the entire offense himself. So with all that in mind, there's really only one formation that fits what we're trying to do here. We need a setup where the striker can be the main focal point of the attack, but doesn't need to create for anyone else, and still gets constant service from behind. And for me, the best formation for that is the 4-2-3-1. 4 defenders, 2 defensive mids, 1 attacking mid, 2 wingers, and of course, Barou up top as the striker. This shape gives him the isolation he needs in the final third while making sure the playmaking and build-up responsibilities are handled by everyone except for him. So with that out the way, let's start filling up the lineup with players starting from the goalkeeper. Starting off in goal, we're going with Gakamaru as the sweeper keeper, and honestly, this one's pretty straightforward. If we're building a team around Barou, we need a keeper who can clean up everything behind the back line and help restart attacks quickly. Gakamaru is the best option for that, seeing as the only other option is a keeper with only 1 confirmed saved in the entire series. Gakamaru is athletic and confident in leaving his ball to clean up overhead through balls, so he fits the more modern role of the sweeper keeper style needed in this system. Moving on to our defenders, starting at the right center back position, we're going to be putting Aiku there in the sweeper role. His strengths match perfectly for what this team needs. He reads the game better than almost anyone in Blue Lock, and he's great for covering space behind the line. So since Barou isn't key on defending, Aiku is the guy who keeps the entire structure stable defensively. Onto the left side, and we have Aryu as a stopper. Compared to Aiku, Aryu is a bit more aggressive, and that's exactly what we want from him in the stopper role. He steps up, contests, and wins duels, bringing more aerial threat to this back line with his height and jumping ability. So while Aiku is the one staying back and sweeping behind, Aryu is the one crashing the duels in front, making a perfect balance for the 2 center backs. Moving on to left back, we're using Hiyori as the inverted fullback. And yeah, I know he didn't have the best performance against Nigeria, but overall his skill set is still the best option for this specific role. His dribbling and passing ability give him legit upside in the inverted role, and this team needs an inverted fullback. But you'll see why once we get to the defensive midfield choices. And finally, at right back, we have Raichi as a defensive fullback. At first, this might look weird, but it actually makes a lot of sense. In real football, CDMs move to the right back spot all the time whenever it's needed. This is because a lot of the skills you pick up from playing CDM are applicable in the right back spot, making it a very easy transition for players to make. With Hiyori drifting inside during build-up, we need our right back to stay home defensively, and Raichi is the perfect fit for that. He's Blue Lock's 1v1 dueling specialist, and right backs constantly deal with opposing left wingers. So in this system, Raichi fits the job better than anyone else. Moving on into the defensive midfield, we're starting off with the left side, and we're going to be using Nico as a box crasher. Nico is one of the most versatile midfielders in Blue Lock. We saw in the Ubers match that he can play both CDM and Cam along with center back. So using him as a box crasher lets him push up higher on the pitch and basically act as a secondary attacking midfielder when in possession of the ball. And this is important for 2 reasons. The first one being Nico is actually pretty solid at progressive passing, and the second is that he's already played a key role in a system built around Barou during the Uber Uber's games in the NEL. So having him as the secondary cam option is basically a perfect fit. This is exactly why we needed the inverted fullback earlier. When Nico pushes up into that cam-like space, Yori slides in from the left back position and takes a spot in the double pivot, keeping the shape stable. Then on the right side of the double pivot, we have Karzu as the deep lying playmaker. With Nico pushing forward, Yori drifting inside, we need someone who stays more grounded to keep the midfield balance, and Karzu is perfect for that. He brings strong defensive presence, great reading of the game, and he can playmake from deep without needing to roam too much. Basically, he's the glue that holds the midfield together while still feeding Barou the ball in dangerous areas. Moving on to the attacking side of the midfield, we have our cam and the two wingers. Starting with the cam spot, this one should be pretty obvious. We're going with Sai as the playmaker. Barou's entire scoring threat relies on receiving passes in ideal zones, whether it's long-range curving shots or balls slipped into the box. And realistically, there's nobody in the U20 Japan pool who can feed him those passes more consistently than Sai. That alone makes him the clear pick here. For our right winger, we're going with Rayo as a wide playmaker. Rayo's offensive versatility is exactly why he fits this role. Since our right back isn't pushing up high on the field, we need someone to hold the width on that side to stretch the defense. On top of that, Sai will naturally drift slightly to the right when Nico pushes into the cam spot alongside him, so having Rayo out wide balances out that spacing. Rayo also gives us something else that Barou benefits from: high quality crosses and deliveries into the box. Barou's one of the best in blue lock at attacking with headers, and Rayo is easily one of the most reliable players when it comes to supplying those kind of balls into the box. And on the left wing, we're using Bachira as an inside forward. With Rayo taking on more of a playmaking responsibility on the right, we still need another direct goal threat to take some pressure off Barou, and that's exactly what Bachira provides. His dribbling creativity and ability to generate shots on its own make him the perfect final piece. Bachira can create space anywhere on the pitch, link up with the midfield, or cut inside to strike, making him the ideal support for a system like this. And finally, leading the line, of course, we have Barou as the striker. His role here is simple. He's the finisher, not the playmaker, not the presser, not the guy dropping deep. Barou's entire job in the system is to stay high, stay central, and receive the ball in the exact spots where he's most lethal. So that's the entire lineup of the U20 Japan team if it were to be centered around Barou Shoei. In defense, Aiku, Aryu, Raichi, and Hiyori keep the structure solid while also making sure Barou never has to track back or help in build up. The double pivot of Nico and Karzu balances out the entire midfield, Nico pushing up when needed and Karzu stabilizing everything behind him, with Hiyori to fill in the gaps whenever space opens. And the attack, Sai, Rayo, and Bachira give Barou the three things he needs most: elite service, width, and a second scoring threat. Put all that together and you've got the most optimized version of Barou we've seen. A pure finisher who gets constant supply, stays in the best zones, and becomes almost impossible to stop over 90 minutes. This is basically the type of lineup Ubers tried to create, but they had way less talent and way more limitations. So yeah, this is the strongest U20 Japan team you can build if your entire system is centered around Barou Shoei. And that wraps up the full U20 Japan lineup built around Barou. Let me know in the comments if you'd make any changes and if you enjoyed the video. Make sure to like and subscribe as it helps a lot and lets me keep doing more of these realistic lineup breakdowns.